Good morning. I don't know if I'm gonna do all that stuff Eric just talked about, but I'm gonna talk a little bit. All right, as Eric said, my name is Broadnax. I'm the CEO and co-founder of She's Happy Hair. I am a serial entrepreneur. In addition to She's Happy Hair, I'm also the co-founder and owner of Happy Me Tea. We are a apparel printing company out of Houston, Texas. I am also the executive director of the She's Happy Foundation. That is a nonprofit based out of Houston, but we do good in the hood from Houston, Dallas, Detroit, and the greater Atlanta market. What is She's Happy Hair? We are the #1 Virgin Hair Supplier in the United States. Basically, we sell hair extensions, wigs, women, African-American hair care products. We were originally started in 2012 in Houston, Texas, with just $900 with me and my co-founder. We did not know anything about entrepreneurship. We'll fast forward to today. We're actually celebrating 10 years of business right now. We're self-funded from that $900. We didn't get any help until COVID. So, yeah, you clap now. I don't want that to be my story no more. Comerica, I do not want that to be my story. I need some help. I'm learning entrepreneurship. You need some help. I need some help. Yeah, we're self-funded thus far. That $900, we're lucky enough and been disciplined enough and have such great customer base that we have extended that to over $100 million in revenue, right? So the numbers are there, the hard work is there. Every time I speak to a group of people, I like to start off with one of my favorite quotes from Henry Ford. And that's basically simply this: whether you think you can, or whether you think you can't, you're right. I find out on my journey in entrepreneurship and my journey in life, everything is an inside game. Mental. Everything is mental. The most important person you're going to talk to in your life, especially little fella in the back, I wish somebody would have told me this at that age, is yourself. The most important person you're going to talk to in your life is yourself. I stand here today, 39 years old, like Eric said, a father, a husband, a brother, a son, and I think about when I was this young brother's age a lot of times. I resonate right to that mindset. That mindset is what made me. I think about when I was growing up in Houston, Texas, and I was raised in a single mother household. And I had a father who we were the recipients, the benefactors, I don't want to say that, but we were in the war on drugs. So my father was a drug addict. I had about 6 uncles, but without any guidance. They all did about 10 years in prison. So when I was a teenager growing up, I didn't see a me. That's one of the reasons why I do this as much as I possibly can, to show other people what's possible. Because growing up, I didn't have a role model that I seen growing up. I like to call them reverse role models, almost. At least as far as a male comes. My mom was definitely my role model. She's a hardworking black woman, and I don't care what needed to be done, it got done. So that we were able to always go to school looking a little bit better than our situation was at home. Right, and that encouraged me. And as I watched this mother struggle with 2 kids, and lights get cut off, and always moving, and 5 different elementary schools for me, and 4 different middle schools for me, because every time the lease was up, we was up, because we couldn't afford the increasement, right? I knew that it didn't break her. So that set a statement in my mind growing up that I can deal with anything. I can be harder than times. So growing up, I went to 5 different elementary schools. I like to tell that story because I just don't mind speaking in front of everybody, because I'm used to being a new kid in class, right? Everybody want to talk to the new kid. I'm used to being a new kid in class, right? Growing up 5 different elementary schools, 4 different middle schools. Went to one high school in Houston, Texas, Willow Ridge High School. Graduated in 2001. Was a pretty smart student. A.B. honor roll student. Had a lot of things going. Went to a few college visits. Exclusive college visits for top 5% people in Texas, but nobody in my family went to college. So I found myself graduating didn't know how to fill out FAFSA paperwork. Nobody filled out FAFSA paperwork for me. So here I am after my senior year in high school. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Literally lost in the sauce. And it was at that point, one of my uncles came home from prison, and he was like, "Man, it's the story of a black mother. Y'all bear with me for these lessons that I've learned in my life." And he came home after a good night of partying one night for me. And he came home and he was like, "Hey, man, I need to borrow your car to go see our people on the other side of town." I was like, "All right, man, go ahead and borrow it, man. I partied all night. I'm going to give me some rest." And at that point, he come back upstairs. He was like, "Man, your mama said you need to drive me. She don't trust me in your car." What black mama go do? She going to take care of your baby. but a black young man go be a black young man. So I'm like, all right, man, she gonna make me come. I'll come. But you drive, I'll sit in the passenger side. If I gotta be in the car, we gonna play the game, I'll be in the car. You drive, I'll be in the passenger side. Well, it was there that day that he totaled out my car with me on the passenger side, unfortunately. And I found myself, didn't know what I was gonna do in my life. I just graduated high school, I don't have a car. I think I just lost my job. And I was like, I just know I want better for myself. So all I knew at that point in life was like, I want better for myself, and I do not want to end up in the trajectory that every other black male that I seen growing up in. So that was Sunday. On Monday, I was at the United States Navy recruiting office. Like, I want to sign up for the Navy. And they test me that night. When they got my clothes that night, Tuesday I was signing up for the Navy. And they was like, hey, man, we can get you out of here Friday. I was like, brother, I just thought about this yesterday. Give me 2 weeks to party, brother, and I'm out this thing, right? But that was one of the best decisions I made in my life. I tell that story because I made it very quick. I had no preparation, but that story and that lesson, going to the United States Navy and spending 4 years in San Diego and traveling the world and doing 3 ships and experiencing 20 countries and showing me discipline and how strong I am, that small, quick decision that I made changed the whole trajectory of my life. I tell that hope in young people here to show them the magnitude of the decisions that you make in life, because that would change me. The Navy taught me a few things that a lot of those things transfer to entrepreneurship for me. First one is you're stronger than you think you are. They put you in a lot of different situations where if you nut up and just fold, you fail. As long as you can keep it cool throughout that process, no matter what you're going through, you'll make it. And that's what the military taught me. And that lesson still holds on to entrepreneurship, because I don't care if you've been in business 5 years, 5 days, 10 years, it's always chaotic. Failure is always there. You always feel like you're about to break. You're always scared to take that next step, right? But as long as you keep it cool, you'll be all right. After coming home from the military, I spent about 5 years working at juvenile probation here in Houston. I worked at the juvenile detention center talking to young men like him. Again, resonating, trying to give them what I didn't get coming up. And I learned then that everybody don't have a chance. I learned that my life was hard, but I talked to some young brothers that was life way harder than mine. That didn't have a mama or a daddy at home. That was very articulate and charismatic. And then I found out, hey man, let me give you a book before you go up for the night. And found out young brother can't read. Couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke. Could not believe it. And he explained to me, hey man, my mom was locked up, my daddy was locked up. They didn't really care about us. They only focused on the girls in my family. All the boys didn't have a chance. So that let me know that everybody has a story. Everybody has an excuse not to win. It's up to you. It's up to you. So after I left Harris County Juvenile Probation, I became a Houston firefighter. Bear with me a little bit, it's a journey. Bear with me a little bit, it's a journey. It was at the Houston Fire Department where I was able to start my first business. Now, throughout this whole process, I had entrepreneurial aspirations. But I just told y'all, I come from where I come from. So capital was not something that we had access to at all. Actually, we still don't got it, minus me. Sometimes, don't tell my people I got it. Everybody owe me, they ain't paying me back. But, so it was, while I was a Houston firefighter, I was finally able to start my entrepreneurial journey. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always would write like mock business plans down and try to talk to my friends who really did have the money and like, hey, got this whole plan, let's do it. But don't nobody want to put no money with the broke dreamer. Don't nobody, man, get out of here with that paper and go get you some paper. And then you figure it out on your own was what basically the conversations, and that did not discourage me, although it did frustrate me at times. Because it's like, y'all are killing me, man. I got it all planned out, right? But at the military, while I was in the Houston Fire Department, I always had entrepreneurial aspirations. I always wanted to start my own business, figure it out. So it was there. My co-founder called me from She's Happy Hair. He's a military veteran as well. And he randomly called me one day working at the fire station. So at the fire station, you only work 2 days a week. As a Houston firefighter, you work 24-hour shifts, 24 hours on, 24 hours off, 24 hours on, 5 days off. So yeah, it's a lot of free time. A lot of free time. You know, firefighters, they sleeping and working out and doing a whole lot of stuff, a lot of time with their time. So what I would do is I would work at other fire stations as my second job. That's how I would make my money. I would work at extra fire stations for shifts. While I'm on an extra shift at a fire station, my boy called me. Hey man, what's going on, brother? What you got? Man, I got an idea. We ought to start a business. I was like, all right, what business idea do you got? Man, we ought to sell some hair. Keep in mind, gentlemen, I knew nothing about hair at this time. Probably whatever you know about hair, brothers, I knew about hair. All I knew is that I was hoping mine didn't fall out. And usually the women I liked, they had it. That's about as extensive as my knowledge of hair went at the time. So I thought it was very peculiar that this brother would call me like talking about let's start a business selling hair. So I was like, nah, man, I think you tripping. Why would you call me about selling hair? He was like, I know some guys made $4,000 in a weekend selling hair. This is August 2012. Keep in mind, I am a Houston firefighter at the station working 24 hours for $300. I'm a real firefighter, so if it go off, I got to get on this fire truck and go save a life and put mine in danger. So I was in no position to say no to $4,000 in a weekend when I'm about to kill myself for $300. Basically, is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. So it was like, man, $4,000 in a weekend. He was like, yeah, man, I know some guys made $4,000 in a weekend selling hair. I was like, all right, brother, give me a little bit of time. Let me figure this out. I'm going to get back with you. And it was right there when I hung up that phone, I made the decision, I now work for myself. At that time, when I hung up that phone, to me, like I'm an entrepreneur, I got a business. I got to figure it out, but I got a business right now, right? And it was every reason to be scared, to say no, to not want to do it, every reason. But again, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So what I would do is on my next 5 days off, instead of going to work out, instead of going to hang out with my boys, instead of going to extra fire stations, I went to go learn about the hair industry. I took what I did know. And by the way, when y'all listen to me, I don't have no high-end information for you. Everything is going to be how I process it, and it's very low. It's at a second grade level, right? It's at a second, my encouragement, my inspiration, everything is at a second grade level. You came here for Arthur Wilson, wrong guy, right? Wrong guy. So I was like, all right, this is my mindset. I was like, as a guy who goes and get my hair cut all the time, if a woman walks into a barbershop, we're going to welcome your presence, and y'all can ask us 50 million questions. We so happy to have a woman in this barbershop. Just keep talking, right? Just please keep talking and don't leave, so I got to keep hearing them lie. You know what I'm saying? When you leave, basically. So I was like, I wonder, does that work when a man walks into a beauty salon? I wonder, am I going to be welcomed, and am I going to be able to ask questions because I'm kind of invading the woman's space? So that's what I would do. I'd walk into a beauty salon or anywhere that they sold hair or did hair, and I would just play dumb. Hey, how y'all doing? My name Warren. My sister sent me in here about this hair. Tell me about these bundles right quick. How much they cost? What's most popular? What this do? What that do? Very inquisitive. I did not know anything about it, but I would just ask question over question over question over question until I seen in their face that they were disturbed by my question asking, like basically, brother, buy something and get out. And at that point, I would get out because I didn't have the money to buy nothing. So I'd be like, all right, you know what? It's just so confusing for me. I just have my sister come in here and I'll leave. And I would go to another location. And I would do this on my 5 days off for about 3 weeks straight. I would hit 4 to 5 salons every day. Learning about this hair, learning about this hair, learning about this hair. So it's like after about 3 weeks, I'm like, I think I got enough base knowledge to go ahead and start this thing and get on this journey. So I called my boy back up, said, let's meet up. Let's put all this money together, you know, and let's start this business. So we met up on a friend's couch of mine who currently works for us now. But at that time, the conversation, when me and my co-founder were there, was like, okay, man, let's put in, look at my little bank account. Look at your little bank account. We got to go all in. That all in was $900. Together. Together. That was just one. $450. That's all I got. Rent coming up, everything. $900 together is all we had at the time. And we sent it off to the World Wide Web based on them little 3 weeks of me going in here getting on these women's nerves. So when this hair came back in, I cannot lie to you, it was terrible hair. It was not a good, we didn't know what we was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, to be completely honest. So when the hair came in, I would do the same thing I did to learn about the hair. I walk in the beauty salons. This time I had a duffel bag full of hair. How y'all doing? My name is Warren. I'm here to sell y'all these bundles. My encouragement at this time, because I didn't have cable. I'm pretty sure this is a group of my peers, everybody about the same age, so I'm pretty sure everybody here done seen Baby Boy. The movie Baby Boy with Tyrese. If you remember the movie Baby Boy with Tyrese, he was in there selling them dresses. I owe Tyrese a percentage because that brother inspired me. He inspired me. I was like, if he can sell the dresses, I can sell the hair. I seen it. It worked. It worked on the movie. I can do it in real life. That was my inspiration. So I walk into the beauty salons with the duffel bag. How y'all doing? My name Warren. I'm here to sell y'all this hair. And I got laughed out a whole bunch of beauty salons. Like, what are you doing in here, baby? Why you got this hair in this bag? I thought you was gonna pull out some tennis shoes. You know how black women are then when you're in there with a whole lot of them. You know, it was just joke after joke after joke. But I did not let it discourage me. I would ask questions every time hold on, before you kick me out of here. Well, why are you not buying what I want? Tell me what it is I should have so you can buy it. Tell me what I got wrong. Every time I would not leave without a learning situation, without being a little better before I would leave. In addition to that, we didn't have any marketing dollars, obviously, which is the $900 that we had. But everybody here old enough to appreciate Craigslist when Craigslist was going, before it got crazy. They was putting people in vans. But at that time, Craigslist was hot. So what we would do on Craigslist is we would wake up in the morning, put about 30 posts on Craigslist. Beautiful hair, luxurious hair, long hair, happy hair, anything to please come buy this hair for me, and I will pull up to you anywhere in Houston and sell you this hair. So that we would hit Craigslist 30 different listings every morning. That was the discipline. Every morning, put 30 listings on Craigslist, and then on my off days, just go and hit beauty salons, right? Throughout this process, we started to accumulate some customers, but then again, the product was never good at that time. So I was getting a whole bunch of callbacks like, hold on, you sold me some trash. But when I agreed to jump in business, I did not start this business to start hustling. I always was thinking, we're going to do long-term business, we're going to do good business. So anybody who they were unhappy with the product, I would pull back up on them and I would listen to them. I would ask questions, and I would not be the expert, I would be the student every time. Now, this is something for any aspiring entrepreneur in the room. I know sometimes we'll get on a high horse when we the person selling it. No, I sold it 2 years good. And you are going to lose a customer forever with that attitude. Always be willing to make it right. Always be willing to make it right. You know, one statistic that I learned in entrepreneurship is somebody like your product, they go tell an average of 3 people. If they like your product, they go tell an average of 3 people. Now, if they don't like your product, they're going to tell an average of 20 people. So it's upon you to make sure that 3 add up a whole lot slower than that 20 to make every situation right. So that's what we would do. That's how we got the knowledge from our customers, learning from them, talking to them. Also at this time, I don't know if y'all from Dallas, but it's hot in Houston. It's hot in Dallas too. This is still August, September. So at this time, I got a call, my AC don't work, and my car is not the greatest, to be completely honest. I told you I had $450 to invest, so we kind of understand my financial situation at the time. So I also knew if I was going to drive from the south side of Houston to the north side of Houston, 30 minutes to an hour drive at times, I was not going to immediately leave after making that sale. I knew this. My customers didn't know that. I knew that I was going to have to take $1 or $2 and go into the gas station where I would meet them at and give me some ice and put it on my engine and have to wait till my engine to cool down because my car was going to run hot. I never let that discourage me. This happened all the time, you know, and women, you know, women act like they care a little bit. So they had to have, you all right? Because your car's smoking. You good? Yeah, I'm good. All right, that one day I'm good, and they gone already while they getting in the car. They not worried about me. But I never let that discourage me while my hood was smoking. I would sit there, open up my car, sweating, and be like, man, I'm going to tell this story one day. That's what I would tell myself. Again, the most important conversation you go be with the ones you have with yourself. At that point, I can't do this, ain't for me. Let me get back at this fire station. It's always a reason to quit. It's always a reason not to keep going. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. So I would never let that discourage me. I would just sit there and count my money and couldn't believe that somebody was giving me some money. To be completely honest, as a person that worked forever, I didn't believe like, oh, these women really put money in my hands, right? Throughout this journey, I tell people when you got your vision, your family and your friends are not going to understand your vision. It is your vision. It's yours. Not for everybody to understand, and they'll not go see the greatness in you. When you start off with something, your family, your friends are not going to see this big boss that you got in your head. They go see the person that probably owed $20, right? The person that used to, right? The person that mess up all the time. They're going to see you for all your faults. They love you, but that's what they're going to see in you. And with that understanding, don't expect them to. Don't look for their support because that's not who's going to make you rich. Your customers are going to make you rich. The community is going to make you rich, not your family and friends. So Go in that with that in your head if you're in entrepreneurship right now. If you there right now looking at your friend list and mad because ain't nobody sharing your stuff, you go keep being mad. They ain't gonna share it until you win. Then they won't share your success. I remember I could have did, right? But when you first got your vision, they not gonna get it. So when I first had my vision, a lot of my friends, they knew my schedule. They knew I was always off. So they would call me, hey man, what's up, man? What we doing today? Oh, we go hit happy hour? Nah, bro, I work for myself. Laughing at me. Man, get out of here. Work for yourself. You're a firefighter, man. What you gonna do with that good job you got? You talking about working for yourself. What you doing? Oh, man, I'm selling hair. Now, that's a Kevin Hart joke in the community. Yeah, right? It's a joke. It was a real joke. Every time I would tell somebody, they would laugh at me. And I learned to be not mad at it, right? All right, I got you. At this point in time in my life, I wore a lot of cargo pants because everybody in here looked like this is a good demographic. Y'all also remember In Living Color. So if you remember, it was like one part in Living Color where the brother used to have a business card on him, and he'll be like, bam, right? They didn't give me time. That was the bam. Well, that was the bundles for me, because I was like, bam, I always had some bundles in my cargo pockets right here. So I always won. I always had about 3-4 bundles. With Body Wave, Deep Wave, wherever you seen me at, I had one on you to show you a little product at all times. I understand how crazy it was at that time too, but I was hustling. I didn't care about what nobody thought. I work for myself. That's it. Unless you finna come give me $1 million, shut up or help me out. That's the only 2 options you got for me. And I remember strategically being at one of my cousin's birthday parties, and really the first time I told my family about my side hustle. And these are my family. They love me to death. I love them to death. And they was like, oh yeah, how you been, fam? Oh, I've been good. Like, oh, man, I work for myself now. Oh, what you do? Like, man, I'm selling this hair. Everybody on the floor laughing at me. Did not get discouraged. I put a little chip on my shoulder. I always have a chip on my shoulder. I'm laughing about these things, but I don't play no games. I put a chip on my shoulder. That's the fuel that fires me, right? So that was the process. So we going probably that's August, about 2-3 months into it, we making good progress. Now I'm driving this little raggedy car all over Houston. It's just tearing me up, right? Women are calling me at 1 o'clock in the morning for a bundle. It's getting outrageous. I'm not lying. Sisters, they ain't got no hours. I don't set no rules. There are no rules. They just, hey, I seen you on Craigslist. You up? I'm over here. Like, this ain't how it works. This is not how it works. So at this point, I knew that we had to put some type of business acumen to it, some type of structure. Talk to my business partner. I'm like, look, man, we got to get a spot. This ain't gonna work. They called me at the fire station. They called me in the middle of the night. Let's figure out a way to get a spot. We didn't have very much money then because I still worked full time. He still worked full time. So we were in a situation where every single dollar the business made went right back into the business. Tell that to every aspiring entrepreneur, you got to do that. Don't think you go start out making something, selling something, and putting something in your pocket because you never go get nowhere. I was in a situation where the first 2 years of my business, every single dollar I made went right back into the company because I kept my full-time job. That allowed the company to grow exponentially, right? Especially because I don't have any investors. So at this time, I'm like, look, brother, we got to get some type of location because these women got to come to us. My car ain't gonna keep coming to them. It's just not gonna make it. So we got a 400 square foot building. It was on the 5th floor of a building, 400 square foot suite in a little office building. Basically, if anybody in the office building, we in one in Houston. It's called Black Mecca. That's what we call it, Black Mecca in Houston. So you can imagine Black Mecca is a whole bunch of black businesses in these office buildings. We're on the 5th floor, 400 square feet. So we got our little location now. It's like, all right, now we got something in here. Bought Craigslist again, bought all my little shindigs off Craigslist, out of people's garages. Being resourceful. As an entrepreneur, you have to be resourceful. It's a whole bunch of reasons why you can't get it done. Figure out a way where you can get it done. Point blank, period. So as we setting up the first night, I'm painting the stuff, I'm painting everything. I'm trying to set my little ambiance as best as I possibly can to make this very welcoming for my customers. This goes to some of the first failures, major failures we had. So I'm working, this is December 2012. I think I worked about 2-3 in the morning, painting everything up, getting ready for my grand opening, put it on social media. Grand opening. She's Happy Hair tomorrow. We finally had a name. I was excited because before that we were just hustling. We finally got a little name. She's Happy Hair. Opening first thing in the morning. I leave about 2-3 in the morning. I said, all right, I'm gonna go give me a little nap. Come back in the morning, finish straightening up, get ready to open up. So when I come back about 3 hours later, after my little nap to get ready for the day, I've been burglarized. This is day one. Stole all our inventory. Stole all my little inventory. Day one. Day one, I'm talking day one. Again, perfect opportunity to quit. Perfect opportunity to say, you know what, this ain't for me. Let me just walk away from this. First day, thing done went wrong. Let me get back on this fire truck like my family keep telling me and keep this good job. Right? Keep this good job. You know how we all with good jobs. Yeah. Keep this good job these people done gave me. Right? That was a perfect opportunity to quit. But we didn't let it discourage us. Luckily had a little inventory at home, went back, got it, bounced up, cleaned up the little glass. We opened for business the first day. This is where we started to learn real customer service. Right? I think this is where the real customer service skills came in, because what you all don't know is it's a lot of tattoos up under these sleeves right now. And they've been here because all of my jobs have been paramilitary and military. So I never had a job where I can get tattoos. It didn't matter. But when you are trying to get black women to come into a suite with no windows, and they have $600 cash in their pocket, and they expecting to see a woman when they open the door, and they look at me with all these tattoos, that first step through that door is not an easy one unless you got some great customer service. You have to be very reassuring. Hey, you in the right spot? No, come on in. No, it's okay, please. No, don't worry about it. This is She's Happy Hour. You know, sisters be, hold on. Now, this ain't what I thought this is not what I thought I was going into at all, right? Raised by black women. Come on in. I got a whole lot of them. That's all right. I can be able to figure this out, right? That's the customer service. Always going above and beyond. I feel also understanding my community, we had a competitive advantage. We know the other places that they patronize. We know how the others treat them. We know that we ain't gonna treat you that way. With the price point, our average price point of She's Happy Hair is $270. Every customer, on average, $270. So my thing was like, I want to treat my customers the same way I get treated when I go to Gucci. I was only buying sunglasses from Gucci at that time. But I knew if I bought some sunglasses from Gucci, they would treat them like they were diamonds. They would fold them up, they would give me a little case, they would put it in a box, they would throw some bag on it. They were walking around all for some sunglasses. And I learned from that experience, like, okay, if I can give this experience to my customers, then they would appreciate me more. Because all my competition, we all on social media, we see what they doing to our people when they go into beauty supplies. So that was the standard. So that's always been the goal from day one of She's Happy Hair, is to go above and beyond our customers' expectations. We also understand in our community, you don't expect very much from a black-owned business. You expect us to open late. You expect us to close early. For that reason, we have a 10-minute grace period. We open 10 minutes early, and we stay open 10 minutes late, at the least. Now, you call and tell us you still running late and you're in traffic, we're going to hang out there a little bit longer for you, because we understand what it's like to get off work and try to get there. These are the things that we extended to our customers. As we are there at She's Happy Hair, first location, we rolling now, making a little progress. It was at this point I'm also understanding my community. I don't have a business degree, but I do understand my culture. And I tell this to aspiring entrepreneurs, because I think sometimes when we jump in entrepreneurship, we always want to go and try to get the other people money. We always, oh man, I'm going to go get this, man. No, they ain't going to spend it with you. They are not going to spend it with you, first of all. We the only people that recklessly spend our money, unfortunately. So you have to use the advantages you have of understanding and knowing your community. I knew in my community, it's not a huge inclination to want to just support a black business. I know they ain't running in and say, here you go, brother. Here you go. I knew you were a black brother. Let me just give you my money. It make me feel good. I did know at that time, and still do know, that we want to support things that are bigger than us. So it's at this point I started to advertise the business on the radio. Understanding that in our culture, we don't care who own it. We want some status. Yeah, you heard that on the radio? Girl, that's me. Right? That's it. Yeah, you heard the commercial out? Yeah, girl, that's me right there. That's it. Yeah, that's me. We want to feel that. So at that point, I'm not getting paid from the business. Rent's only $400. We're spending $2,000 on the radio. Consistently. This is 2 months into the suite. We spending $2,000 on the radio. So now it's really picking up. It's like, oh, this is working. I still remember closing stores some days. Like, they done gave me this money. I could not believe it. I was just like, because I come from where I come from. I explained that to y'all. So I didn't even know that you can touch real money. I'm not a banker. I didn't know that. Like, man, they really giving me this money. So this is probably about March. At this point, I come from the military. The world is not that big to me because I've seen it already. So it's like, all right, we're ascending in Houston from probably the 6th little hair company. Now we number 1. Everybody talking about She's Happy Hair. We literally had customers every weekend that would drive from Dallas. that I couldn't believe at the time. I'm like, hey, wait, what side y'all from? We came from Dallas. Oh, y'all visiting family? No, we came to get the bundles. I was like, and y'all going back to Dallas? I have family here. My cousin is here from Dallas. So I understand this commute. I'm like, y'all came just to get this hair. Yeah, we go get right back on the road when we leave and get this hair. So I was like, oh, we really have something here to where people driving 3-4 hours one way and coming back. So at this point, it's like, we have to scale this thing. If we're able to ascend in Houston where we have all this competition, and we take this business model where we don't have any competition, we're going to win. So initially we went to Detroit. Another buddy of mine from the military, another lifelong lesson. Watch who you allow in your business. Watch who you allow in your business. Brother fooled me, social media me up. What is it called? Catfishing me. He catfished me. Yeah, he catfished me. Yeah, I'm looking on social media. I knew him from the Navy. I hadn't seen the brother in a while, but I remember the Navy. He used to tell me, Detroit has a lot of black people. Detroit's full of black people. That's all he used to tell me, man, Detroit full of black people. So I'm like, okay, that's what the demographics said. Black people, black women. We need to go to the D. Call him up. I look at his little social media on Facebook. He's sitting on Bentleys. He got big old chains. I'm like, okay. He got some money to invest. It's trying to be easy. Good relationship. Didn't vet him at all. Please don't vet people on social media. Please don't vet them. Please don't learn from me. Please don't. Let me take that L for you. So I call him up. Hey, brother, I got a whole business. I've been out here in Houston winning. Oh, man, come on out here to Detroit. We go get it going. I'm like, all right, I'll be out there in 2 weeks. I fly out there. Keep in mind, his brother's on Bentleys, on this social media chains, all type of stuff. He picked me up in his baby mama car. I said, say it again, his baby mama car. He ain't got no car and his baby mama ain't got no car. His baby mama car. So as he picks me up in this is a culture shock for me because I thought I was going to get it picked up in a Bentley. I was excited. It was not a Bentley. It was not a Bentley. I can tell you that. His baby mama was not driving a Bentley. So I'm still trying to process it, but I'm optimistic, and I know the opportunity is here. So we go to his neighborhood in Detroit, and I stayed there for a whole week. He didn't have anything to invest in his business. He didn't have nothing. He was broke. He had absolutely nothing. I seen how he was living. Like, all right, brother, we got to get me a hotel room, but we go get this popping while I'm here. So we set up shop in 2 weeks. Stayed out, and I set up everything. We literally employed the community. Get us a space like that 3-4 days, found us a space to rent out. Hey, man, you know somebody to do carpentry? Hey, man, you know somebody to paint? Hey, we literally are employing the whole community as we rip this space up and set up shop. Call the people, hey, man, send us hair up here. Call the rest of the team, hey, this is what I need up here. We set up shop and we win it fast. We go from zero to making about, on a Friday, $5,000 to $7,000 every Friday. I'm back in Houston now. All right, you good? Now I got to go get back in Houston. I'm trying to open up my second Houston location. I'm just thinking scale. I'm fearless. I don't know no better. I don't know no rules. All I know is hustle. That's all I got. It's my superpower. Hustle and don't quit. So as I'm going here, I'm noticing in Detroit, the numbers are diminishing. 7,000, 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, 6,000. I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? Oh, I ain't got no hair. I ain't got no hair. We selling all the hair. I'm looking at it. I fly back up there 2 months later. My brother has a Range Rover, a Corvette, and a Durango SUV truck. All three. I don't even know why you need 3 cars when you didn't have one. I don't know who he was racing. But this is where all of the money had went to the business. You can't trust me. Everybody don't have that financial discipline to put it back into the business. So obviously we had to close shop there, unfortunately, and reopen. Huge lesson learned. And at this point, I come from where I come from, so I only know how to handle things on the level that I was trained at that time. And when you stealing more money than I never had in my life, this is first year. I'm still year one. You're stealing more money I've ever made. Like, I'm thinking left. Still, got to look forward. He ain't worth it. We go figure it out. We go make it better. We fast forward now. We currently have 7 locations across the United States. We got 3 in Houston, Texas. Thank you. We have 3 in Houston, Texas. We have 2 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 1 in Arlington, 1 in Dallas right there on Mumford Road by the Galleria. We have 1 in Detroit, Michigan. Again, not in his neighborhood, downtown Detroit, Michigan. He didn't stop nothing. And we also have another location in Lithonia, Georgia, which is right outside of Atlanta, which that location is actually inside of a Walmart. So it's a retail store inside of a Walmart. It sounds good. I got to say that because I know when our people, we got to stop doing that, right? So we say Walmart. Say, oh, man, congratulations. The 6 that I do on my own make way more money than this Walmart when I'm trying to get out of Walmart, to be completely honest. Walmart wanted us in there because we bring the foot traffic. right? So sometimes when we associate ourselves with them big brands, they really hurt us more than they help us out. So we really trying to get out of Walmart and get our own in Atlanta the way we should have did it the first time. But I had the mindset like we all do. Walmart, what an opportunity. They just using us. That's it. We all we need. We all we need. In this 10 years of business, we also, year one, we launched the She's Happy Foundation. So we started that August of 2012. That September, that next August of 2013, we had 3 She's Happy at the time, 2 in Houston, 1 in Detroit. Everyone had over 200 backpacks for the community. Every single one. With the understanding of, number one, we come from the hood. We understand the need in the community, and we also know that we would not be where we at if it wasn't for our community and wasn't for these black women who are spending their last on this house. So we felt obligated to give back to the community. To this day, we have over 9 years of big give backs, and we got about 7 to 8 annual give backs every year for 9 years. So that's also been one of the main things that She's Happy Hair, especially in Houston, Detroit. We're working to do a better job here in the greater Dallas, Fort Worth Metroplex. If you know this company, you know we go give back. You know that you ain't making me rich. You're making an impact on the community, right? So I think as an entrepreneur, whatever level you at, if you can't go out here and write a check, go out here and dedicate your time. And people say, oh, don't pull out your phone and show it. I am exactly opposite with that. Show it. There's so many of us showing foolishness. So many people showing popping bottles and throwing money in the air and tripping. I want to show what we're supposed to be doing, giving back to our community and encouraging these kids. So as an entrepreneur, whatever level you at, if you doing well, you sure need to be doing good. Shout out to Comerica because y'all do an amazing job at that too, especially the team in Houston and the team out here. Y'all do an amazing job with that. Hoping we can partner on some things out here in Dallas. Shameless plug. We're trying to help the hood. Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Before I open it up for Q&A, I just want to give y'all a few of my my lessons from entrepreneurship through this thing. Number one is I didn't sit up here and tell you no easy story. Every single step was hard. It's hard today, it was hard yesterday, it's gonna be hard tomorrow. I fail every day. We come with the mindset of like, oh, if I just do this and this, it's gonna work out. And then when it get hard, we go, oh, it's too hard, I gotta get up out of here. I thought it was gonna be a little easier than that. But if you come with that mindset of telling yourself, nobody said it'd be easy. I'm not expecting it to be easy. I'm expecting it to be possible. That's it. When the hard hit, it's supposed to be hard. Nobody said it would be easy. When I'm taking them L's, I'm literally telling myself, my team, I'm always talking to myself. I really mean the most important conversations you have with yourself. Sometimes I have team meetings by myself walking around all the time. All the time. We've been going through all types of stuff, Warren. All the time, right? But I have to tell myself, nobody said it'd be easy. And that conditions my mind to recalibrate. It disciplines my disappointment. No matter how bad that failure was. It's like, all right, bro, nobody said it'd be easy. It ain't supposed to be easy for you. You don't expect it to be easy, right? You have to remember these things because the most consistent parts of entrepreneurship is going to be failure. What are some of the keys to my success has been? Number one is, and that comes off of this next quote, is you don't know what you don't know. I don't have an MBA. I don't got a bachelor's degree. I ain't got an associate's. So I know that it's a lot of things I don't know. For that reason, I'm always learning. Either I'm giving the game or I'm sitting down getting it. That's it. Either I'm giving it or I'm sitting down giving it, right? I'm always learning. I'm always in some type of class. I'm always trying to get somebody to mentor me. I'm always asking questions. I'm a thirst for knowledge because you don't know what you don't know in entrepreneurship. And everybody's track is different. So you have to be a student of the game at all times. This thing is a marathon as well. It's not a sprint. You gotta remember that when you're taking the L's. You just fail on your marathon. Get up and dust your knee off and keep going. Get up and dust your knee off and keep going, right? These are things that have been key to me and my success. Key to me and my success. I'm trying to see if I'm missing one for y'all right quick before I open it up for Q&A. We got discipline and disappointment. We got nobody said it would be easy. And the most important person you're going to talk to is yourself. I think with that, I'll open it up for questions for anybody. Thank y'all for listening. Yes, ma'am.
So, what were like the top 3 books that you read in that process?
Reading. Top 3 books. I read a lot on leadership, right? So that's always going to be the first one. Favorite author is going to be John Maxwell. So starting out when things started to work for me, Those were some of the first books I started reading is leadership books. I tell every entrepreneur, you got to be reading leadership books. First of all, you got to learn how to lead yourself. You got to be self-aware. That's where you don't know what you don't know. You can't be around here thinking you know everything. You can't be around here thinking everybody operates like you. So John Maxwell, the first John Maxwell book I say probably two of his that I would say. First one is the 360-degree leader, 360-degree leader, because it teaches you how to influence from anywhere in the organization. Usually when you're an entrepreneur, you still working somewhere, but you still want to influence people from the top, the bottom, under you, all the way around. That 360-degree leader, it will show you how to lead and influence from wherever you are in the organization. Another one is the 5 levels of leadership. And he explains the different levels of leadership. And it's influence, starts as influence. And you have some leaders who just have a position. I'm the such and such, so I'm the leader. That's just position, that's level 2. 3 other levels on top of you, player. You have to go a little harder than that, right? So, that one, and what is another book Tilman Fertitta, Shut Up and Listen, right? There's a billionaire who wrote a book. You familiar with Landry's, all of those, the casinos, Tilman Fertitta, Shut Up and Listen. His book was absolutely amazing. One of the things he taught me is borrow money when you don't need it. Because it was one point in time we was killing it, and she like killing it, blowing things out the water. And I ain't worried about no banks. We winning, baby. No, honey, we killing it. And then it goes down because business goes in downfalls. And then I started trying to make my relationships with the banks. And everybody was looking at the financials like, well, your number's a little down. We're not gonna talk to you. And after I read his book, he was like, when you don't need money, when you're killing it, that's when you need to start asking for the money then. Because when you do need it, they're not entertaining you. So those are my 3 books. But definitely the consistent reading, I think that's what I was probably wanting to end too, is I read books. If you look at my office, I do a lot on social media too. So please follow me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Warren Broadnax. You can just put my name in any of them. I do a lot of videos. I actually had somebody in 2019 basically document me from January 1st to 95 days. Every single day we dropped a video, every single day, to show aspiring entrepreneurs what's possible. He literally I met him on January 1st. I was trying to write a book. He was excited. Hey, man, we should do this every day. I was like, yeah, man, we should. And literally, whatever I did not change up anything. He just sat on the side of my car and he talked and asked questions. And if we caught a flight, he was running behind me with a camera. And every single day we pumped out that video for the next morning. No warning to anybody. 4-5 days into it, if we wasn't dropping the video by 10 o'clock in the morning, my phone was blowing up and his was too. Like, where's the video? We need our money, our morning inspiration. So, yeah, those. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Two questions. Have you written a book? Thank you. One, two. Okay, hi. Can you? I'm sorry. Have you written a book? And what other areas are you interested in expanding your business, like the Midwest area or anything like that? Have you thought about it?
So I have not written a book yet. I'm working on it. I've been working on it. I was reading the book. I brought a book here right now, business writing, right? I just want to bring as much value as possible. So I'm really slow rolling that, but that is the plan for me for sure. Expansion. Chicago. We're definitely looking at Chicago. We've looked at Chicago a few times. I think that's probably the number one on our list when we get back to scaling. But since COVID and everything else, we scaled so fast that we had to get back to the basics and put in operating procedures and standards and all these other things. So we kind of stopped on the scaling blast to just make sure that we have some alignment and we're one band, one sound. So, but when we do open back up Chicago, I mean, it's there for us. It's huge. It's bigger than Houston. We can open up multiple locations. So absolutely Chicago. What do you got?
So with many hats that you wear, how do you prioritize work-life balance?
So, man, it's a good question. It ain't no balance. It ain't no balance, right? With me, it's simple. Work coming first. I'm sorry. I'm the provider. There's a lot of people depend on me to run this organization, and there's a lot of families depend on me. So She's Happy Hair comes first for me because it feeds my family, and we feed about 60 other families. Not only just in addition to that, the good we do for the hood and the community depends on us. So She's Happy Hair is always first. After that, then I'll go to daddy mode, right? Go right back to trying to be a dad, family, husband, all that stuff. Then I'll go to Happy Me Tea. And then after that is me. right? I'm trying to work a little bit better on filling myself up first, now that I got it, because that balance is always tough. I'm trying to get back into working out and doing those other things, because as we know, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And that's what I found myself doing sometimes. I'm just giving myself away, and it's like I don't have anything for me. Like I didn't even do nothing good for me all month, and everybody else like, oh yeah, thank you so much, thank you. So I'm trying to find a way to be a little bit more selfish and be a little bit more intentional, giving myself at least 30 minutes a day to read and an hour to work out with it. Leave me alone. Like it's not going to burn up. I think as entrepreneurs, we forget that we're in control. I'm speaking from my own experience. Like as we're in business, we be working for everybody else trying to get everything done. Like, I don't never got no time for me. You make your time. And you have to remember yourself, like you the one make the time. So if you want to get up and say, this morning, I'm going to take this hour and then nobody going to call me to 9:30. I'm going to get up at 6 and do everything for me. And at 9, I'll be open for everybody else. Those are some things I'm still working on my discipline on. Still working on. Yes, ma'am.
So dealing with leadership, what are some things
You gotta get
your team, when y'all are having meetings just to keep them encouraged? 'Cause like you said, a lot of us going to fail. What are some things that you tell the people to keep them encouraged when y'all have your team meetings?
What are some things that I tell my team to keep them encouraged when we have? So earlier in my leadership journey, I used to try to inspire the team. I'm an inspiring cat. I've always been an inspiring cat growing up. If we going out to the club, I'm the one, man, we go get it. We're going to play basketball. Man, we got the best team here. I don't know who we playing. That's just me naturally. But I learned in leadership, like you can't inspire people. I want to inspire people to come. I'm going to hold them to a standard, right? I'm going to make sure that I reward them well. I'm going to make sure that we benefit them and we show them that we appreciate them verbally and with the extra things that we do at our job. But I can't inspire them. If they don't come inspired, the best thing I could do is I'm going to keep paying them. But if you keep messing up, my inspiration is you're not going to be here. Point blank period. I had to learn because I was draining myself and I was fighting a losing battle. And when you're trying to inspire the team, you're trying to inspire people who don't even want to be there. And you end up wasting time. And then while at the same time that you're trying to inspire them and they're showing you they're not inspired and they don't want to be here, they're influencing other people in your organization. And sometimes, a lot of times, turning them against you and your vision. So what I learned now, you got to come in inspired. Like, I just left a conference in Chicago, and I think the guy asked the guy a question like that. And he was saying he want people in that are so inspired, it's infectious. Like, they are so excited, it's infectious. If you don't come in with that type of energy after reading our company story and coming in with that, and we was great before you got here. And we going to be great when you leave. If you don't want to come here and be a part of this greatness, we are unapologetic. We are quick to fire and slow to hire. I will go and sell bundles before I sit up here and try to inspire anybody else on the team anymore. And that was some things I had to learn just by wasting time. I spent years trying to inspire the team, and it really almost took the company out, allowing people to stay here. So I set the standard, and it's up to them to be inspired. We're going to pay you on time. We're going to do all these great things. You want to be here, cool. If not, go figure it out on your own. Anyone? Oh, okay.
So I have, I guess, one question. So I know you've been in business for quite some time now. So like with that being said, how has like the power of social media shifted since, you starting your business, and like as far as being in today's time and with, how big social media is, how do you like monetize and how do you kind of use social media to your advantage with all the changes that have, changed throughout the years?
Man, it's only been 10 years, but it feels like it's been like 30 because social media has grown so fast, right? From a marketing standpoint, right? Initially, traditional marketing. Talk about radio, TV, spending all that money on traditional marketing. Well, prior to COVID, we really pulled a lot of that budget back to start spending Instagram money, Facebook money, right? You can't win if you can't. I remember when they first started Instagram, before they started charging with everything, and you used to be able to touch all your followers. I'm so short-minded. I was like, I can't believe they letting us use this for free. I was telling them, like, man, y'all ain't on Instagram, man. All these people, all these women, I cannot believe they letting us use this. Not knowing they were hooking us in, right? But number one, you got to have that budget, right? I got a whole team that I paid just to run all of my social media ads. Not to only expand on that, but I mean, influencers, right? Influencer marketing is huge. It ain't what it used to be, because everybody know the game now, right? But you cannot have a marketing strategy and not have influencers in it. And part of that, there's a lot of parts of that I don't like, right? I don't like the fact that, somebody just had their phone in their hand and was bored. Now they got influence over 8 million people, and then they want to charge you $2,000 to hold their phone. I don't like it because I'm in the trenches doing the work. So I've even started to build my own online persona. That was one of the things that made me have to go and do the 90 days and come out of my shell a little bit more, because the first 5 years of my business, nobody knew who I was. Nobody in Houston, nobody knew any of my markets. Nobody knew Warren. You only knew the company. And that was intentional because I wanted to build a brand first. I always wanted to sit here and talk to people, but I don't like people that talk and ain't did it. If I can't Google you and see your resume, or you can't show me no numbers or what you done really did, man, keep all them cool words. I don't need them. So I don't like the fact that with social media now, everybody can get on Clubhouse and sound great. I despise Clubhouse. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I feel like everybody just be sitting on their couch just sounding like, you know, yeah, actually, no, really, you know, the thesaurus, right? So I don't like it, but you have to adapt to it. So I also think if you are a entrepreneur, you have to be vulnerable enough to expose yourself, because at some point you got to be the influencer. Because I have watched these influencers come up, and they come from being an influencer to you paying them for an influencer to now they just full entrepreneurs. They'll go get a trash product. They got 8 million people and say, oh yeah, now I got this body balm, go buy it. It solves eczema. It'll break you out as soon as you put it on. But because they have the influence, you know what I'm saying? They'll make the money. So it's like, okay, now that I have the business, I have to now show who I am and let a little bit more of my personality out. You cannot run a successful business, I don't think, to sit in the background no more. You have to be active on social media. They need to see the company, what the company's doing. They care about the clients, the customers, the community. They care about what the CEO is doing. They care about your integrity. They care about what you sound like, what you look like. So social media has changed the whole trajectory of it. I mean, I used to go to spending like $40,000 a month on radio, TV, all of that, to now maybe $12,000 on radio and about $40,000 on Instagram promotions and radio and Instagram and TikTok and social media. So that trajectory has been huge, huge.
Hey, we just got one. One more question.
Let's get to it. Yeah, go ahead, bro. We'll get you in.
Okay. Yeah, it's just to piggyback off her question. Right now I'm in a point where I'm looking at starting a brand, launching a brand, a clothing brand. Mm-hmm. But like with social media, it's just so much noise. And I was wondering, like, if you was in the position right now where you're starting a brand, like, what would be your strategy in to get started, like now with social media?
But don't let that noise stop you. It's always gonna be noise. Mm-hmm. All right, like you just gotta utilize whatever your unique characteristics is. Like it's only I can get up here and tell my story. Only you can. It's a reason you started your brand. I think you should utilize social media to amplify your uniqueness. Hey, I started this brand because this is what it means to me, right? And you'll find people who resonate in that throughout the noise. You'll find your own tribe. So even though it's noise, it's always gonna be noise. It's always gonna be competition. Like I think you just use your uniqueness, and you just have to be strategic about finding out where your people are. And social media is great in that area because you can really dial down the demographics and find out, okay, my brand is really for black cats who are into love and hip hop, who are 18 to 22 years old, who live in Dallas, right? You can utilize all of those nuances to figure out who you really want to. You can kind of, shoot a ray of light straight through all of the noise to find out who you want to talk to. And even though they got social media, don't forget the knocking on doors. I think sometimes social media with this new generation, they don't know the good thing of just walking up with a handshake and approaching people. They too busy want to get it on the phone. You can go in with a shoulder full of t-shirts and hit everything in the community for 3 months in a row, and you got a whole brand that people are looking at you for before you get on social media. So you got to also find that balance between social and actually still being out in the community, for sure as well. No problem. Yes, ma'am. Last one. We got one more, boss. Right, the last one.
I'll be brief. I just wanted to ask if you would consider a franchise model for She's Happy Hair.
Nope. No. I won't because we source a lot of things from overseas, right? And although the hair comes from different sources, it's manufactured in China, and we don't have no control over China. So I would never want to get into a franchise deal where I'm locked in and I'm saying this is what I'm gonna do, and they don't do it, and then I'm the one stuck holding the ball. I'm the one going to court because they playing games. Just because I understand my industry, I don't want to franchise it out because we don't have that type of control. That's mainly why.
Thank you for watching our Empower Series YouTube video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit the subscribe button below, as well as the little button to be notified the next time we upload our video. Until then, stay connected with us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever your social media flavor is. Inspire the world to thrive. See you soon.